situation. Let's see how she is. Nobody plays her. Nobody played her before the patch, and I haven't run into too many since. But yeah, this will be really interesting to see what she's about. Really 2.0. I heard she's top tier, so we'll see about that. You definitely don't get the most out of Ken unless you know how to use those Genrider loops. So one day when I'm not feeling lazy, I'm gonna have to just kind of try him out in the lab a little bit. Cause he's super fun character, honestly. That's not what I wanted to do. Ow. Oh, come on. That shit is so hard to react to online. Ugh. Trying to remember as I'm playing here, like what the changes they made. I'm drawing a blank. I think they changed like her combo routes, but I don't remember how. This is a level 3, I think. No? Okay. Hmm.
Ken wins.
Yeah, I can't remember what they did to Kimberly. She's better, I swear. Just trust me. I don't know how, but she's better. Alright, let's see. That's the only combo I know with Ken. I thought maybe if I got like inspired enough, I'd just learn a new combo. Ah.
Round 2. Fight.
Oops. Does Ken's crouching heavy punch have a big role to play in combos? Fuck. How do you do the overhead kick too? Hold on. There it is. Oh, I didn't even fucking know, bro. I did not know you could do that. That's crazy. She. I tried to buffer the super. Whoa, that was a crazy ass slowdown. Anyway, didn't work. But that's so cool. So if you're doing Ken's run and then you cancel into a Dragon Lash. What's happening? Okay, let me try this again. Okay, I'll have to wait until I get in training mode. That was really weird. I don't know what happened with the connection at the end, but it got really bad. But yeah, I don't know. I'd be lying if I told you I could tell any difference in Kim, because we never saw Kim either. Before the patch, nobody was playing her online. Maybe I should look it up real quick. Let me see if I can find something.
Here comes a new challenger.
In patch. It's by like the general patch notes.
Shall we begin? Don't expect me to be a pushover.
Round one. Fight.
Alright. Come on, dude. This guy's in Philly just like me. He's the Philly FGC. He's busy. I don't know if they changed them much. Let me just sneak a look at the notes. I'm really okay, he's back. We'll take a look at the notes to end up the Street Fighter portion of this, because I actually I want to keep learning like what changes were made, because it's really easy to lose track of that. And then the next patch hits by the time you know it, and it's just you never learn what the changes are. Ah. I hate labbing so much, but one day I will get my ass in the lab just to figure out Dalsim. Get him. Yes. Die. Yeah, the teleport thing where he just teleports behind you. There's got to be a way. There's got to be a solution for that, but I don't know what it is. Consistently. I usually just try to mash out a jab. Ah. Why did I do that? Oh. That sucks. Get him! Oops. What happens? My matches are getting like hella laggy at the end. I don't know why.
Round one. Fight.
Vaporwave sim. I forgot. He can just float up there and it doesn't take any gauge or anything. No! Ah! Oh no. I like how he says yoga over and over for everything like a Pokemon. Just yoga. That's his answer to everything. I don't know why this is funny, but it is. He's kind of eating me right now. Okay, hold on. Let me think about this. Let me see. What can I do? Does Ken's Tatsu go through fireballs? Ow. That was terrible. That is terrible. Alright, let's lock in. Let's do this again. Alright. Can he stay up there as long as he wants? I should be able to just like... Yeah, there we go. No, that's not what I meant, bro. I was trying to do drive, you know, the other fucking thing. Drive reversal. But that always happens. That's one of the like biggest things in this game. Which is another great reason not to use drive reversal very much, because it's not very good. Can you see the frames up there? Like, for some reason, towards the end of the match, it gets really bad connection, and I'm not sure why. I hope it's not on my end. Okay. Ow.
Round two. Fight.
You wanna know something wild is, so I live in Philly too. And like, there's obviously a gym for Philly FGC. There's actually a few of them. I put in like an application, I guess, to join. Oh shit. And they just never got back to it. They literally just... I guess you have to be like cool or something. You have to know somebody. I didn't know it was that competitive to get in there. I thought gyms just accepted anybody like back in Street Fighter 5. So now I take it personally whenever I see Philly FGC peeps, I gotta beat them. Okay. That was kind of stupid. I don't know why I did that for.
Let's get it. You Hadouken. Hadouken. You go. Watch it.
Hmm.
You fire. You
He actually burnt out first, so that's good at least.
You fire. You go. Eye on the prize.
I don't know why am I not able to just kind of
You go.
I should just be able to just
Let's get
do that all the time, but for some reason it's like I don't know. Some kind of mind game.
Gotcha. Coming at ya.
Sorry to make you sit through the level 3, but I literally don't know combos with Ken. I wasn't sure if anything else would kill. So you get to level 3. And fuck you, Philly FGC.
Ken wins.
That's what you're missing. That's what you're missing. Okay, so that's how much time's it been? 1 hour and 4. So let me stop ranked matches. And for like the last part of my Street Fighter stuff, um, we'll go through some changes again. Let's see. I did a little stream before where I kind of touched on this stuff, but I didn't do like I didn't get to all of it because it was in the middle of the workday. So this time will be like more thorough. We'll cover all this stuff. All this very important information. Okay. So yeah, you should be looking at a screen of Capcom's website and the patch notes now. And I'm just gonna like very quickly go down some of the biggest things. So every character gets their own tab here, and I already know like who the ones who got the major changes were. So we're just gonna take a look at those ones. Starting with Luke. No, okay, kind of stupid how that works. But yeah, so Luke. What's different with Luke? Blah blah blah. Well, this attack. Okay, double impact. This attack. Um, yeah, double impact. This is forward heavy punch. It can be hit confirmed and it can't be countered when blocked. It has a comparable range to standing heavy punch, which is also a quick attack, meaning it didn't get much love. For this reason, we've increased its forward moving distance, so there's a clear range difference. Sheesh. That's pretty huge. I use that punch a lot actually. I even used it before the patch because it's a I felt like it had more time to confirm it relative to just regular heavy punch, but maybe not. Anyway, obviously a buff. Overdrive Sandblast plus the Fatal Shot, which is the extra shot you can add on to the EX version or the OD version. We reassessed this technique as it didn't give that much of a return compared to Overdrive projectiles. So they also removed a hurt box that appears before the attack startup. so it's a more reliable zoning tool. And they've changed its behavior, so I think they're referring here to the wall splat that it does. You can get a wall splat off this now. And then if he, I think if he uses his command dash or if he uses his drive rush, he can get to where you're at and then follow up with some cool combos. Let's see. It doesn't explicitly. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong thing. Behaviors changed to yeah, wall splat. So you get a wall splat now. Reduce combo counts and extended the input buffer time when the technique ends. So that just means you have even more time for whatever. Wow, it's the input buffer is already super generous, so this isn't going to make much of a difference for most people, but definitely strong buffs there. Medium Flash Knuckle, we re-examined this attack to as Luke's perfect input combos lost some of their appeal. Hold up, let me change the music. I don't like this. Much better. Okay, they re-examined this. Combo scaling was too high. Now you can do both the perfect input and charge version from Standing Heavy Punch. Thank God. No, I'm so happy about that. Okay, so they basically changed the damage, but you were always able to combo into the charged version from a Standing Heavy because I didn't actually know that. I thought it required a counter hit. Need to spend more time with Luke. Luke and Ken. So those are the ones they have like up front. So I'm guessing these are the big ones. Standing Heavy, standard the collision push box. Standing Heavy, change the drive gauge, increase. So he's going to be gaining more drive gauge. We already talked about this one. This one's important. I think this one's not like getting okay, it's on hits, but it's still really useful. So when you get that crouching medium into the shoulder, the face, it's going to give you an extra 2 frames or an extra frame to be a total of 2 frames. I think that's pretty noticeable from what I've tested. So I like that change. Overdrive, we already talked about. Already talked about. Light charge flash knuckle added an additional hitbox to the second attack. It can only hit during a combo. Okay, so that's like a quality of life fix. Medium flash knuckle. Medium flash in his super 2. Increase the distance forward in the attack hits. Nice. Frame data. Did they change frame data? No. Okay, so that's Luke. Overall, definitely quite a strong bunch of changes. I think the biggest ones, obviously, these three mentioned here. Um, double impact, moving forward further. That's potentially huge for his neutral game. Wall splat combos off of the OD Sandblast and Fatal Shot. Very significant. Could open up a lot of new combo routes. Um, and then the other big one I will say is Nosebreaker. I think Nosebreaker is kind of important. I think we'll probably see it more in high level play. All right, so that was him. Um, Kimberly, she obviously got a lot of changes. Water Slicer Kick. See, I don't know any of Kim's moves, but this attack was designed to nip at the opponent's feet. But when it landed, Kimberly was in a disadvantaged position. So they've made her recovery during active frames fixed. So that as long as it hits, Kimberly will be in an advantage. Sheesh. So this sounds like they're talking about that annoying slide that she constantly does. Usually moves like that have variable advantage based on how far away they are when they initiate and when it hits. Um, now it it doesn't matter when it hits. It's going to make sure that she's always on an advantage. And it sounds like they're keeping the scaling too, so that if you hit on the very last active frame, it's still going to give you an even bigger advantage. But now there's no chance that it will be unsafe, which is a ridiculous change. Ridiculous. Houston kick, forward heavy kick. This is where she kind of jumps in the air, and she can follow up with a secondary attack. This technique was too slow and didn't have good hitbox, making it easy to deal with. So we've improved its hitbox to make it more usable in a fight. Better reach, and it'll lose less to low profile attacks. That sucks. Kimberly will now gain a lot of drive from this attack. These are huge. Jesus. So this annoying thing is going to be moving forward more, and it's not going to lose to like a low profile. I'm still assuming it'll be pretty easy to jab out, but it's quite a strong couple of changes there. Uh, so the last one they're calling out here, standing heavy punch. This was short. Did they lengthen it? This attack was designed to give big payoff, but we adjusted the range to make it easier to use. Now something you can realistically use to force your opponent to block, and combined with the adjustments to arc step, she now has some great attacks to launch from. In order to bounce the move and not make it too powerful, the low position hurt box has not been changed. And this is her automatic thing where she kind of runs up you after out of the Naruto run. The startup for this technique is faster and it can be used in more combos and is more difficult to shut. Okay, Kimberly is a huge winner from this patch. Every one of these is big. She got more stuff too. Oh, okay, these are actually they made the recovery longer on crouching light kick. But they made it shorter on standing light punch. Elbow drop. Technique will now be performed at certain elevation when the input is performed early during the upward arc before the technique can come back out. Okay, this sounds like a nerf actually to this move in particular because players were kind of able to abuse it, just like hit it really early on in a jump, and then it was kind of like DJ's knee used to be. Um, there was just no way to really stop it. This gives you like playing against her a little bit more time to react to counter it. 8 to 6 frames. 8 frames faster startup. Light Vagabond end. Edge. Changed recovery to -5 to -4. Hit back reduced. Okay. So even that got a minor buff. So she's really, really strong. This sucks. Like honestly, I feel like they did too much with Water Slicer. Because that was already annoying. It's not that hard to space it out. Now they don't even have to space it out to be plus on block. So that sucks for everyone else, but good for Kimberly. Maybe some people actually play her now. I heard JP got something. See what JP got. Okay, so his level 2 Projectiles will remain when a normal throw hits for a punish counter. This means activating it in close quarters will allow him to apply much more pressure. So does that mean that if you throw the opponent after activating this up close, your projectiles doesn't disappear? Or does it mean if they throw you? I don't know. It probably means the first one, but I'm not really sure. I heard some people talking about this though, so I guess it's a good change. This is his Critical Art 3. It's easier to combo into. Alright, not too many changes, but the JP players seem happy about the level 2 buff. I can't really comment on that. Jury, Ryu. Yeah, Jury and Ryu are the other ones who got really good treatments. Crouching Heavy Punch. The hit effect when this combo lands for a punish counter in midair have changed. You can now dish out damage and gain 2 stocks, or go for a combo when scoring a punish counter on a standing opponent. Okay, who knows what that means? I don't know. Sounds good. This kick. We made this attack easier to combo into from crouching heavy. A short list, but people were saying these were like really crazy buffs. I mean, good good buffs. I mean, if they changed this, did they just make it change the hit effect on midair punish counter to a spinning knockdown? Okay, that makes sense. Why would she ever use that though? Well, I guess that's why they changed it. Because before her DP is so good, you just always use that. But now they have normal that does it, and you can get the stocks. So I don't think it's crazy, but it's definitely an improvement for her. But nothing too crazy. I think so far Luke and Kim are the big winners. Right, Ryu. Yeah, so this attack has good range, good for controlling space, but it's hard for you to create opportunities for himself, so it can now be canceled into a regular aerial Tatsumaki Senpaku Kyaku. Uh, when you land this combo, you'll be able to position yourself in a favorable spot. Okay, so basically, forward heavy kick can be canceled into, it's always been cancelable into an OD Tatsu. Now you can cancel into regular Tatsu. So that's pretty good. Or you can use it as a combo from an overdrive high blade Kickstarter. Oh, so if I get the wall splat or the wall bounce off of the donkey kick, then I can turn around, hit him with forward heavy kick, and then cancel into regular Tatsu or OD Tatsu. That's what it sounds like. Pretty good. The heavy donkey kick had slow startup and disadvantage on block, so they sped up the startup and reduced the overall frame count. Sheesh. And then crouching medium kick. We sped up the cancel timing into these special moves, making it easier to combo from. It's already easy to combo from, isn't it? Even when hitting even when hitting the tip of the attack, you can safely you can safely bring into a heavy Hadoken to force your opponent to block. And for light and medium Hados, as long as you don't delay the console, an opponent's drive impact is no longer. Sorry for my hooked on it. Like, I'm really bad at reading. because my volume is turned up too loud in my. See if I can. Yeah, it's weird when I can hear my voice like talking to me. But yeah. Um oh, I heard about this change. People were talking about it. Oh, that's right. Okay, so what this is talking about, if you hit with his crouching medium kick, which is almost like his main cancelable poke, already has really good range, right? One of the things that you could do with Ken and Akuma, and I know this from experience, is if you hit crouching medium kick and cancel on a fireball, if your opponent is like paying attention, they hit drive impact right after the medium kick, and they'll get a free punish and a ton of damage. Really bad for Akuma, especially. In fact, it was like so bad that I stopped doing that combo altogether. It's almost like never worth it. Unless you can like maybe some situations you're buffering it, you know your opponent is like really aggressive, or you get it on a shimmy. But it's almost better just to cancel into some other move. So for Akuma, you can cancel into like the Fire Fist thing is probably the best bet. And for Ken, maybe you would cancel into Jinrai. But now Ryu has the ability to go ahead and use that cancel into Fireball, and you can't drive impact him. So that's really big, and it's a way to differentiate him from the other Shoto. So that's pretty good. Yeah, these are really good changes. But let's see more details on the heavy blade kick. So there's a donkey kick. Change startup to be faster by 2 frames, 27 now. The overall length is now 50. Recovery on block is 2 frames faster. So now it's safe. So that's really critical, right? Because 4 is the magic number. If you're 4, -4 or better, then it's safe. Before it was unsafe and you could actually punish this thing. Now you can't. So if he hits you with it and you block, and he blocks right after, you just have to hold that. There's nothing you can really. You don't get a free punish. Whoa. Change drive gauge increase from 8,000 to 10,000. That sounds like a lot. And they increase the damage from the OD Tashigeki. Fuck. That's a lot. Okay, so definitely one of the strongest. Um, yeah, let's just read the last one. Who benefited? Actually, I think that's all of them. Did Terry get anything? What happened? On punish counter. Some ranges it wouldn't connect. A little bit of buff. Yeah, doesn't sound like a long list, but it doesn't sound that crazy to me. So my picks for the huge winners: Luke, Kimberly, and Ryu. They just really stand out. They've definitely been blessed by this patch big time. I'm already seeing a ton of Ryu players. I expect to see more Lukes and Kims as well, because they're really significant changes that they're going to make the characters a lot better. And I actually want to mess around like real quick with Luke and maybe with Ryu and just kind of see some of the changes that they were talking about. All right, I'm gonna take a break. I just have to take a bathroom break, but I'll be right back to talk about the people who got nerfed. So see you in a little bit. Alrighty, I've returned. So let us complete our Street Fighter patch walkthrough. Alright, so I talked about the people who came away big winners. Luke, Kimberly, and Ryu. Definitely coming out ahead. I kind of missed Honda. I didn't look at everybody because I don't feel like doing all that. But let's look at Honda real quickly. He's a character that I really like as a character, but I never play him because he's usually not that great. He was alright in Street Fighter V, and I would mess with him from time to time, but he's perceived as kind of a gimmicky character. However, he did get some really good buffs that we should probably talk about. Standing Heavy Punch, this can combo into regular Taiho Cannon, giving Honda some chunky damage on his strikes. This is the developer's own words. Chunky damage. Um, what is Taiho Cannon is what I want to know. Is that... Oh, I think it's when he's doing the sumo run. Yeah, yeah. And it's a launcher, essentially. It sends your opponent airborne so that you can follow up with the sumo slam. So that's a really good buff. Heppo's triple slap. Due to improvements on the hitbox, this attack can now reach opponents better from mid-range. And we made changes so that he's in a better position than before when it's blocked. So both of these things, I would say, constitute like buffs to what I'm calling sumo walk. Um, which, if you play the game, then you know what I'm talking about. Honda's essentially got three specials. He's got the sumo slam, he's got the headbutt, he's got hands, and now he's got this new one, which is the sumo walk, and it's getting two very notable buffs. In addition to that, on the Oichi throw, or the Oichi throw, the startup of this move is faster, giving his throw game more oomph. So, considering that they buffed his sumo walk stuff, Honda has like a mix-up game with his throws now, or it can use this as a counter to drive reversal. That's not all though. That's not all. Standing heavy punch. Okay. Recovery on hits. Wait, what does this mean? Change recovery on hits from -1 to +1 frame? Is minus on hits? That's crazy. But if they did make that change, it's kind of a no-brainer, which is kind of my theme for Honda, but I'll get to that in 1 second. Uh, blah, 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 blah. All right. So basically, what I wanted to point out with Honda, they just they made Honda the character he should have been from the very start. Like, you should have always been able to cancel into sumo walk from standing heavy. And you should have always been able to use the triple slap as a throw mix-up, right? Like, these are just obvious changes. I don't know why. Like, when Honda came out in this game, I was really excited because it looked like he was cool. It looked like he got some sick ass new moves, but you couldn't use them for anything, or at least the use was like pretty limited. So now they're finally kind of making them useful. A year and a half into the game, so that's good. Also, um, I hope next patch or the next major patch we get, I would like to see more buffs to Honda because honestly, I think he needs it. With in particular the sumo stomp and the sumo like clap, both those moves. Oh, they didn't even mention that, but he did get a buff to the sumo clap. I don't know why they didn't mention it here. That was the other thing I was looking for. But you can combo into the sumo clap now, which is like huge. But to be fair, that might have been from last patch. I don't know. I haven't been keeping up with the character. But yeah, so I still think Luke, Kim, Ryu, the big ones. But it is good to note that Honda, he's still his stock is rising. The chunky stonks are rising. All right. So now let's get to the people who got absolutely wrecked. There's a couple of them. Let's start with Cammy. She was getting kind of stupid. So crouching medium punch. This had great range, great startup, but didn't wasn't much of a risk. So they made it recovery take longer, and the hurt box is bigger. The OD DP that she has isn't going to switch sides on hit anymore. So I guess if she can still side switch from the heavy, it's not that bad. But the heavy isn't going to have the invincibility, so it's still definitely a nerf. Additionally, side switching with an invincible overdrive made the fight less enjoyable for the opponent. Yeah, no shit. So if they're actually paying attention to that, when are they gonna fucking nerf freaking Rashid? Which is the other kind of big story of the patch. Um. Anyway, overdrive cannon spark strike, all this other stuff. Reduce pushback for crouching heavy kick. I really don't know if that's like a nerf or a buff. Depends how Kimmy uses it. All right, so overdrive cannon strike. Um, so this is her OD drive or dive kick. When performing the attack during the jump's ascent, recovery is changed to the following: only when the attack hits on the first active frame. So cut back on your frame advantage on hits, but on block, it extended it. I don't really know what this means. It sounds like maybe it's another one of these. Okay, recovery no longer changes up to a certain height. Okay. Actually, that's kind of, isn't that helpful? So now it used to be if you hit way, way too high, it would be a bigger penalty. But now it sounds like they've just locked it at -2 frames no matter what. That's kind of stupid. I don't really like that change because part of the skill of watching a good Cammy player is watching them perfectly spaced dive kicks. So I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like there's other ways that they could have nerfed this. And this is only for OD. It's not for all of them, so well, here it is. No, this is only a drive gauge change. Okay, so she should still be good. But yeah, the biggest one here, let's be real, it's not uh okay, so we've updated the advantage when it's performed once Cammy reaches a certain height and the attack lands on the first active frame. It's a lot of like requirements there. On hit, the situation is now 50-50, and you're not guaranteed a follow up unless it's a punish counter. If you use this attack to follow an opponent to avoid an opponent's regular throw, you can still follow up with an attack, but lift uppercut no longer hits for a combo, making it more difficult to land this attack side switch combo. Sheesh. Okay. So it's because players were using this tool a lot, like this size, to avoid a throw situation, and basically they would just pull it out and use it right in your face. That sounded bad, but like they would just do this OD cannon strike at point blank range, and it would just really like fuck up everything because it was just so broken. Now they've made it less broken by making it basically be a 50-50 situation instead of Cammy advantage. And even if it does hit, you can follow up with an attack, but it's not going to turn into that launcher combo and side switch. That's what I'm getting out of this. So that's very, very significant. That's very significant in this. This right here, I guess this is going to matter a lot too. Not being able to side switch. This right here is huge for me. Like her neutral was like so good, and taking this away, she's not going to be quite as bad. So what? How much did they actually change it? Change recovery when the attack misses by 3 whole frames. Damn, that's 360, 3/60ths of a second. Or wait, no, it's a, it's you know what I mean. It's 3/60. It doesn't sound like a huge amount, but it's bigger than the amount that they actually change things from. And they expanded the hitbox. Okay, so yeah, that's a big nerf. So she came out a loser, but you know, that's fair. It's fair. And then um, this fella right here, Bison, we've tuned down M. Bison's ability to do high damage combos and to chip away at an opponent's drive gauge. His overall game plan isn't changed greatly, but we've looked to adjust him so he's not too much of a bully. All right, so the overdrive knee press in overdrive psycho, they've just changed the damage and they put a cap on his high damage. So good. Evil knee. This is a normal. Reduce the amount of drive gauge the opponent loses. It took away a lot of drive gauge before, and it was just too much. So they nerfed that. And Shadow Rise. This, yes, I saw this. This technique's ability to change the timing and trajectory made it difficult to counter. And even if you successfully hit the air-to-air, there's too many situations where Bison can just avoid the attack and counter. So they've expanded the overall hurt box, and they shrunk the attack hitbox, so it loses more often to an opponent's aerial or grounded attacks. Thank God. I mean, ugh, like this is how Bison should have dropped to begin with. It's like they deliberately like overtuned him just to sell the DLC, and then okay, now that that's all over, we'll bring him back down to earth by making the really obvious changes. So all these things are really obvious. They're not going to break the character, but a lot less people will play him for sure. Because they played him because of all this broken shit, namely the damage. This drive gauge thing is interesting. I didn't really notice that before, but apparently that was an issue. And then the stupid air shenanigans. So that's good. All good stuff. Shadow Rise, they added a hurt box around the feet during the jump. It's invincible to projectiles, but you can hit it with the normal, I guess. So pretty significant hits to Bison, Akuma. This one I've looked at quite a bit already. This is my main. And like I said, oh, I forgot about this one. So the rest of Snap Kick this is for medium kick. It's a good poke, and they nerfed it by increasing recovery frames. You know, it was always vulnerable to drive impact if you made a read on an opponent, but now it's gonna get drive impacted way more often because they just made it longer recovery. This is the Hadoken. I was talking about this earlier. They just made the hitbox on his arms bigger. I don't think it's gonna make a big difference, honestly. I don't think this is that big of a deal. They changed the neutral demon flip. So if you jump over an opponent's head using demon flip and it's just empty, they've increased the amount of recovery frames. And then his overdrive Tatsu, they actually buffed this a little bit. I mean, it's not really a buff; it's like a quality of life change. So we can ignore that. Um, these are basically the nerfs, and the ones that really matter is the backwards walk. Like this is huge. There were many characters who had few ways of counter a defensive Akuma who could retreat and throw out moves to keep opponents at bay. Yeah, I mean that's true. I was kind of abusing that. It was probably making me look a lot more godlike than I actually am. Because it's true. He could just walk out of pressure. Um I wish it would have just nerfed Akuma's damage and let me keep that walk speed. They also nerfed his sweep a little bit. Akuma used to get a lot of free punish sweeps. If you spaced out your sweep enough and the opponent tried to retaliate with a sweep, it would just miss, it would whiff, and then you could hit it with your sweep again. So it looks like they cracked down on that. The window to cancel is now 2 frames faster. So that means shorter, right? So now it takes even longer, or it's even harder to cancel into attacks from his crouching medium. Um, increase the drive gauge gain on the dive kick. This is like Capcom's default way of trying to make players use a neglected move more. If they see that everyone's ignoring a move, they'll just increase the amount of drive gauge gain you get and hope that that makes you use it. I don't think it's really going to be a huge difference, but I'll test it out. All right, so that's the changes to Akuma. Definitely a loser in this patch. And then we get to probably the biggest loser of all. Ed. So Ed was broken. He was kind of broken. Definitely top three, top two, um, top three. I'll say. So this is what they did to my guy Ed. It's okay. So his normal kicks are those buttons that have the ridiculous reach, right? And he was just controlling everything. So this says for standing medium kick and crouching medium kick, against a lot of characters, this attack was able to take the initiative, and from a cancel, the damage was good. So we want to increase the risk on whiff. It's easier for the opponent to take their turn, so they shouldn't throw it out as much. Kill rush. So this is when he does. He's holding snatcher pose, and then he ducks back. The hurtbox during the technique is expanded forward, making Ed more susceptible to an attack if they step back after holding. onto Psycho Flicker. So yeah, basically you can catch it with attacks now, including a drive impact. So that's a big nerf. This is a big nerf. Crouching leg kick, great startup in range. One hit gave you really nice return and very good in defense. Okay, so if you're playing defense with it and you stop the opponent's attack by using it once you can't combo into it again, I don't know if that's huge or not. Psycho Blitz, the OD version. This was really good when it lands, so they made adjustments. So basically, they increased the recovery. So if you hit on block, it's now negative on block. Before, I think it was plus. Yeah, so let's look at the details there. See, um, let's make sure I'm right on Psycho Blitz. Yeah. Oh, yes. So it was safe. It's still kind of safe-ish. It's -4. Your fastest move in game is 4 frame startup. So it really only punishes if you decide to continue the attack. Um, unless Ed doesn't have a 4 frame, which I guess is possible. But yeah, so that's what they did there. And um, yeah, these other things, it's kind of easier to see in an actual match. And it's funny, I don't think I've played an Ed since the patch dropped. Probably a lot of people are dropping him. I've seen some things, I've seen some clips on like Twitter and stuff, and like yeah, it's making these changes are making a big difference to Ed. So is he the biggest loser out of all these? Probably. But you also have to consider the Cammy, her OD dive kick is less broken, her crouching medium punch is less broken. Um, Ed's not going to be controlling neutral with the kick buttons as much anymore. He can punish his backwards command dash, and you can be the blitz punches are not as strong. Then Akuma, he's got slower walk speed, and his poke forward medium kick got nerfed. Uh, between the three of them, Cammy and Ed definitely the biggest losers. Um, oh, and Bison, he got his damage nerfed. So yeah, there it is. I think that's as much as I feel like reading for today. But I do kind of want to test out some of the specific things with the Luke, Ryu, and Akuma. So let me do that real quick, and then we'll wrap up the Street Fighter stuff, and I'll come back later with Disco Elysium. And I want to try Honda out a little bit too. So I'm just gonna go into training mode basically. All right, so let me get rid of this.
Fighting ground. Practice.
All right, so first let's test out
Hold
Sumo.
up. Training. Training room. Marisa. Ryu.
Wait,
All right, I'm ready.
I'm playing Sumo.
Honda. Ryu.
I'm ready for you. All right, I'm ready.
All right, so let's turn off the bot for now and just let's look at what he can do. All right, I swear they buffed this clap, but I don't know how. But I'll tell you what I do know. Now you can do this. Wait. See, that combos where it didn't before. Which the standing heavy punch is a little bit weird because it's like a 2-hit button. Not, I don't even know if that's right. It's like, it's not 2-hit, but there's a very definite break between when it hits initially and the rest of his follow through. You have to cancel in the early part of the hit. So if I wait on it, it doesn't cancel. But if you do it right away, yeah. So just be aware of the cancel window there. But yeah, as long as you keep that in mind, you've got a really cool new attack. I'm trying to do the OD version. Okay. It's pretty sick. Yeah. It's a little bit hard to hit that. There we go. There it is. So, yeah. I'm not really used to playing with them, but that's how it works now. And it's really great to just have another option besides, besides that. It's much better damage as well. I guess that never comboed. Okay, you can get 3 hits off of that, but as you can see, the damage is pretty shitty. So it's nice to have like an actual attack that does some damage. And then they were also talking about with this, it's now a much better throw mix-up. Why is it so hard? Why is it so hard for me to cancel consistently? I don't know. See, this happens like much faster. Like it is noticeable, which I'm kind of surprised because it doesn't sound like 2 frames or 1 frame or whatever it is would be noticeable, but it is. I just wish they'd make this move more like useful. I know there's a way to like cancel out of this into Ocho throw somehow. I don't know how to do it though. Oh, there it is. It's kind of hard to that. +1 on block? Was it always like that? That's pretty good. It's -3, so it's safe otherwise, but if you come out of the drive rush. So that in self is pretty good. Hard for me to hit this on my controller. Diagonal. There we go. Alright. I think that's pretty much the cool stuff on Honda. They didn't really change too much of his other stuff. I want like a high level Honda who actually knows what they're doing and just see how they're using the new tools. Alright, so who should I do next? Let's do Ryu next.
Alright, I'm ready. Alright, I'm ready.
Alright. Yeah, so this is let's see. First we've got this change here. So he was always able to use forward heavy kick like this. But now he can do a regular Tatsu as well. Which is really cool. They even kind of changed like the animation for that, which is neat. That's what it looks like normally, and this is what it looks like added on. It looks like they all pretty much do the same thing. So whether you use heavy or light, it doesn't matter. It's just like your preference. So that was one of the changes. The other one is this heavy kick. Faster startup and better frame advantage, I think. See what it looks like on block. -3. It seems like it should be so much more than that. Is it still spacing dependent? Yeah, it is. So -3 is the worst you can do. It's possible to get a +1. But yeah, -3 is the cap. That's as bad as it gets. Look, 3. Damn, that's pretty sick. So you can be +3 if you're really good at timing it. Or you can be -3 and anything in between. So that is pretty significant. Alright, what were the other things that Ryu got? Oh yeah, they increased his Hashigeki damage, but only for the OD Hashigeki. See, that's a situation where I might have gotten PI'd before, but he was able to recover now, so that's kind of this buff in action. Look how fast it recovers. That used to work, but it doesn't really work anymore. They mentioned a change about that too, but I forget what it is. About the overdrive. Oh, yeah, let's try that. Let's try that. I remember. So if you do this, you can follow up with a new combo that uses the forward heavy kick. Just like that. Pretty good. Good screen positioning there. I'm not sure if that's like... Pretty good. And then the only other thing was the Hashigeki damage, I think. EOD. Yeah, that's definitely not unreasonable. If it didn't do this, like, it was really not doing damage before. Only 300 difference in the damage there. Yeah, I like it. Good changes there for you. Let's try a Luke.
Let's get it. Sure thing. Let's dance.
Great. So Luke has a wall splat there, which you can see, and it only works if you follow up with that second shot. So the regular OD costs 2 gauges a drive meter anyway, and you have to spend 3 if you want the wall splat. So hopefully you can get to him with your command dash, because if you have to use your drive rush, that's another bar of gauge. That would make it very expensive. Let me turn this on so you can see what I'm talking about. Yeah. Alright, so regular, 2 bars. The 3 bars for the extra shot. And then another one for drive rush cancel, so it wouldn't even help. So yeah, I don't know. You have to be closer for this to really mean anything. I'm not really sure what to do with that. Not gonna lie. I'm sure there's people who can incorporate this into combos somehow, but I don't get how. He also got a buff to his level 2. It has good forward distance now. Okay, not that good. Not that good. Not even that good. So yeah, this must have really have traveled not very long before. So it's doesn't seem like great range to me, but it's better than it was. So definitely a good improvement. I was hoping they would have changed this move, this suppressor, to make it better. But Well, I guess it does kind of combo. It combos off of the same stuff as and heavy. That really combos? Hmm. No, that's not combo. I was getting thrown off by the count, but it counts as 2 hits. But you can't actually combo those two unless you do it like that, which is obviously not perfect. Whatever. Alright, so the wall splat, it does indeed happen. I don't see like the utility that much. Did my fucking cat just drink my fucking tea? Hold on. That sucks.
Getting cold feet?
My cat's a menace. If you leave like anything out, anything, food or water, she'll stick her paws in it, she'll stick her face in it. I mean, I've definitely, at this point, I've already contaminated some weird cat disease, but I like to pretend that I didn't.
Feeling nervous?
I gotta make more drink. It's not contaminated by your shit paws. Alright. Right. So I don't really get some of Luke's changes. Like, this is useful for something. I don't know what it is. This had a range buff, apparently. Allegedly. But here's 2 moves that I know for sure are better. Forward heavy punch. Look at that. Look at that. They really made the animation look cool.
Where you going? Front side! Too slow! Front side! Where you going? Front time, go to work! Too slow! You chose the wrong guy to mess with! Yo, you good?
So that is cool. That's gonna help Luke out a lot in neutral. Here's like a comparison. So if I start out behind this line and I try to hit him, start out the midpoint, you can kind of hit him from the midpoint. Same thing here, right? So if I start out from right here, that kind of works. But this should have like better range. So you see, like it can hit from outside standing heavy range. So that's good. And then the other thing that Luke got that is unambiguously good and was kind of undersold in the patch notes, the Nosebreaker combo, which is that. So crouching medium kick into heavy punch is now +2, whereas before it was only +1 frame. It's definitely noticeable, surprisingly. And that's only on hit, it's not on block, so it's still pretty unsafe on block. But there you go, it's 2 frames now, which is enough for you to do something like more exciting. It makes the strike throw mix up better, and if you were to hit it on block, it's -8, so don't do that. Of course, you're supposed to kind of use it like a combo cancel, so if you hit just with that, it's still unsafe. So maybe just follow up with that at that point. Like if they already are blocking your medium kick, I mean, I guess it depends on spacing, but a lot of characters can probably make him pay for that. So we're good to use that. You can always like mix it up, like buffer some other stuff out of it. Great, so that's the Luke's changes. I'll be definitely playing more Luke from now on. And then who else do I want to look at? I don't really know enough about Cammy. I can test out her medium punch, but I'm not familiar enough with her for that to be interesting. Same with Ed. I don't even have Bison. I know nothing about Kim. So let's just test out Akuma. It's been a while since I played my main character here. So let's see, like, does he still feel viable? Does he feel like he's totally a wreck now? How's he feel? Let's see. It's midnight. I'm gonna stop this. kind of stand out there for a minute. Try to be like, anyway, hopefully that's some good practice. Like when I'm off it for a long time, feels like a smart thing to do. Spend hours because like I'm trying to maintain my level just a little bit to a decent degree because I want to go to my locals and start signing up for tournaments and stuff. Um, so I can't completely neglect the game for like months on end. So got some good reps in there. Um, can go ahead and do some other stuff now. Namely Disco Elysium, a very cool game. So I'm gonna restart the stream, fresh stream, call an end to this one. So in a minute.